Rambam, in his Hakdama to Mitzvahs, I can't find it over here in this version. Here we go. We're getting there. The Rambam writes that there are mitzvahs d'Rabbanan, and he includes in them Chanukah and Purim. And he says that the purpose of these mitzvahs is to be halal HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to thank him, and be aware of his presence, intervention, involvement in Klal Yisrael. The Pri Megadim in this simon tells us something fantastic. He tells us that the Gezeiros of the Yevonim included the Gimel Averis Chamuras. And he explains how the Gimel Averis Chamuras are included. And I'm going to start off this question, the subject, with a question which is not mine. The Netziv asks this someplace in Chumash. I can't right now remember where, but I could find it. Shouldn't be too difficult. What are the Gilul Averis Chamuras? What are the Gilul Averis Chamuras? Not what are they? What mitzvahs are they? What do they represent? In other words, if I were to pick Gilul Averis Chamuras, would I put Shabbos in there? Yeah. So why isn't it in there? Rose, what is so special about these Averis? Besides that they're the three cardinal sins. That sounds very good. But besides for that, what is about them fascinating that makes them that one cannot
except for Gilead Rice, they're anti-God. Meaning Avodah Zarah is obviously you oust God. Because Talmud means you kill God.
So the Netziv explains that each one of these have to do with certain midas, and if you're corrupt in any one of these midas, the purpose of your life is non-existent. This idea is echoed in the Shla, which is probably chronologically can't be echoed there, but the Shla Kodesh writes that why is it that somebody forfeits his life for these three Averis? So he says a person who transgresses on these three Averis, he has corrupted himself to the point that he's ineffective in his existence. Life is, this I'm saying right now, a very Jewish idea, the very opposite of Western civilization, what I'm saying right now. Life is only a opportunity. Life is not an end. Life is something to use. And there are things which are greater than life. I will just take a contemporary issue and expand upon it. Actually, tonight, I just say I should be a schust for this person. Somebody's getting married tonight. That 10 days ago, I was called by their parent that they are chickening out. They don't want to get married.
But not this specific person, just generally.
No, this
this specific person.
Right. No, I said the spouse that they picked out for me is a wonderful person. I have absolutely no, nothing to do with, if I had to pick for myself a partner in life, could be I pick the same one. Nothing to do with the other person, but why should I do this to what?
Institutional marriage.
Yeah, and the person was asking me this question in earnestness. And I asked the person the following question. I said, since history has been around, kings go to war, and there are people who volunteer for the army. That's happening right now, right? These people are suicidal. What are they thinking? You could die in the army. I don't know if you're aware of that. It's like, the Lloyds of London has to insure you, right? Why are they doing this? But in other words, this is a fundamental understanding in all of humanity. Then that statement needs to be understood. Can that be true? Okay, what's wrong with
Just trying to make it tight.
that? Makes it louder. That makes it lower.
I can't go lower.
All those people are standing on their head now. Okay. Anyways. So this is an issue which I think that we all understand this to a certain extent. And I said, the purpose for you in life is not eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we will die. It's do Torah and mitzvahs, for tomorrow we will live. It's the exact opposite. Right? This is the Hechitimtza to get to the goal. Right? So, yes, there's an aspect of giving up yourself in order to get married, because you will become a greater person because of it. Basically, that's part of what I told this person. I will just say that I forgot all about this conversation, but today they called me up right before the chuppah. Whatever, so I, just jarred me back into this situation. So what am I saying? When Klal Yisrael went to war, this is extremely important. When Klal Yisrael went to war, and perhaps I should discuss this maybe on Thursday night in the Mishmor, but I don't really want to get bogged down on these kind of questions. When Klal Yisrael went to war against the Yevonim, they went to war to win or to lose.
Win.
That's really stupid. I mean, how do they expect to win?
Still go to win, even though you might lose. You expect to win.
No, I'm asking you. In other words, they had a chance.
I'll be Teva, no. But I'll be sent to the Shemayas.
Okay.
So that's what we rely on in every war.
Okay. I beg to differ. I don't know that you're wrong. I disagree. What do you think? This is a new question to you?
Yeah. No, so you know you're going to lose. You should win it.
This is a typical Rabbi Zachariash question, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to answer this question. There's a joke, a yeshivish joke, which is, a joke is on the people who made the joke. Okay? The joke is, there's this brisker guy that a guy wants to kill him. And he says, make a bracha, and he says, you want to kill me, but first I have to make a bracha. He says, okay, so make your bracha. He says, no, I have to wash my hands first, He does, and the guy is like, this guy is like, he can't believe this. So he says, you must be a very holy guy, and the guy makes his bracha. He says, you know what? That was really amazing. I'm going to let you go. And the guy said, no, hefsek, right? So, what's the joke of the joke? The joke is that it's not a bracha levatala. Chazal tell us, Afroi shel Yitzchok tzovor tachas kisei hakavod. The point, whether you died or you didn't die, is irrelevant. He was willing to give his life. It's not a bracha levatala.
That's it. They didn't think they got for sure. They thought they could. They went to it, but they knew they could well die.
I'm telling you that it's a win-win war.
Right,
they are saying that our lives are worthless if we cannot serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So they went to war to express a point. If they win, they win. And if they lose, they win. That's like a good deal. Right? So I disagree, because it could be that they thought they would win. Could be. I don't have no idea. But I don't think. But there's no what?
There wasn't no reason they did it.
They went to war because when I was a kid, there was a advertisement for cigarettes, which were not going to pay the company. They're not going to pay me for advertising, so I won't say which company it was. But the advertiser was a guy with a big black eye, and it said, "I'd rather fight than switch." Right? You remember that, Lev? You remember that? Okay, here we got a red-blooded American. Okay. I don't want to hear which company it was. Not again. Anyways, so the point is, there are some things that are worth the fight. What?
This was only in the olden days you could get away with this. There was a fight. I'd rather switch it.
Okay, whatever. Anyways.
This was the tough guy cigarette.
Obviously. What do you think the Marlboro Man is, right? Right? He's riding off into the sunset, lassoing cattle, right? Isn't that what you want to do with your life? Anyways, Echshahu, the bottom line is that they were making a statement that where you're taking us, death is better. That's the statement. Now, whether we will win the war or lose the war, in my opinion, is irrelevant. That's not the point. The point is the statement being made, and they're being Mekad Hashem Shemayim, that our lives are useless without Torah.
Was it the same with Avram Avinu when he chased after the 4 kings?
I'm totally lost. What happened over there that I'm not aware of?
Avram Avinu chased after the 4 kings, right?
Why? Because he wanted to save light.
Right, but I mean, the chance of one Avram Avinu against the 4 kings and their armies, he wasn't sort of...
He obviously felt that he could win, right? I will share with you a Ramban in next week's Parsha. And if this Ramban is correct, so your question is incorrect. And you know which way I'd rather go on that. The Ramban says, why? There's a fascinating Ramban. And this Ramban needs to be understood because it contradicts a different Ramban. There's a Hakdama to Parshas Vayishlach, where Yaakov prepares himself to his meeting with his older brother, and he prepares himself with 3 different things. And the Ramban says, Nichla Parsha Azois, Lohidia, Ki Hitzil HaKadosh Baruch Hu es Avdoi, V'goya lo miyad chazok mimenu. Esau was by far superior to Yaakov. Vayishlach malach vayatzilehu. I don't know if I would have learned that that's the pshat, but that's what the Ramban says. V'lamdeinu od. But when was the malach matzil him? Okay, so we'll have to learn this Ramban when it comes to Vayishlach. Anyways, v'lamdeinu od. Shehuloi botach b'tzidkosai v'shtadel b'atzola b'chol yecholtoi. So what does it say? V'yesh bo remez l'doiros ki kol asher il Yaakov, etc. So you have to be b'shtadel b'chol yecholtoi. What does that mean? You're not b'tech in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and you have to go to war. You have to do your best. Okay, so Echshahu, Klal Yisrael had to go to war. They had to do their best, and they were fighting for a statement. They were making a statement. You know, the Goyim had said they have to put the Kisvachem al Karen Ashur, and they're saying we're willing to die for our religion. Okay, and then the Mishnah Berurah starts off with the beginning. B'chofei b'kislev maschil and shmonesh Chanukah ha'asurim b'hesped etainis. They're also in hesped etainis. Avu mutorim b'asiyas melacha. V'noa goyis ha'noshim shaloi lasos melacha ba'od she'aneres dolkois. V'yesh mi shal yoymar she'ein lohokil lahem. To do this seriously, says the Mishnah Berurah. What?
Not to make you know how make the work.
Yeah. Okay. I'm skipping this story because I think that everybody knows that story. Umipnei zeh. It's about 7 lines from the end of the Mishnah Berurah. Umipnei zeh skinu chachamim shebaoisa hador she'ayomim elam shetchilas v'mesem chamesh v'kisa v'mei simcha v'halal. This is a definition of Chanukah. It's a day to be happy and say Hallel. Why? Because like I said over from the Rambam, that the purpose of these Chagim is for us to become close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, through their observance. Umadliken bohem neiros ba'erev al pisah begodim kol laila v'laila mishmos b'Chanukah. Why do we light Chanukah candles?
What is it?
Laharois, to show, ulegalois hanes. What does that word mean? Legalos hanes. I know what the word means. What does the word mean? What? Yeah, but so a second. What does? If I had asked you, I'm right now being fair. Shimon, which word would you say Presume Nisa fits in better with? Laharois or legalos? Is your name Shimon? What does legalos mean?
I thought lahavos means to, in English, you describe that as to show, right?
Right.
As to show. Galos like to
Reveal.
Reveal. So that's perhaps on a higher level than showing.
Excuse me.
What comes first?
How do you do it? How are you megala?
People can see the sign.
No, that's called laharois. This is a lashon of the Rambam. So this word, it's not the Mishnah Berurah. This is a Rambam, and I learned in a Brisker yeshiva. So therefore, you're taught you have to learn every word. But especially when the word doesn't make sense, right? The word is saying something which we don't know what it means.
The other part that you wanted to notice.
How is
the candle lighting doing that?
You can see something and not know what it means.
and yeah, finish a sentence. So therefore, how are we mekayim the legalis?
By lighting the candles.
And how are we mekayim the harais?
Lighting candles.
Putting the candles in the
Maybe we should light 2 a day, one legalis, one legalis.
Shamish.
putting the candles in a position where everyone can see them.
That's the. This is all the same thing.
No, but you could light them in a place where no one can see them.
I would like to.
Only you can see them.
I would like.
Maybe the gallows would be as give me face on Baruch Baruch.
Oh, that's great. What does that have to do with legalis? I tell you, warm. You're warm.
That it's not the chayalim who are doing it. It's the Kodesh Baruch who's doing it. Then if you give me
But that's what the lighting of the candles. We know that the candles burn. We know all that. What do we have? How are you makayim it?
Saying hello.
How? Let's say. And how does that? How?
Shows your appreciation. I mean, it doesn't reveal or show. It just shows your appreciation.
I would like to answer this question, and my answer I think will date me, because in the 21st century, this is like usher to say what I'm about to say. When a person physically shows feelings, amphetamines are actually released in his body, right? Is this true or not true? Okay. Now, a person has understanding. When he expresses them, they become revealed to him. It connects you. When I light, not only do I show other people, but it expresses my inner feeling, which actually is alive.
It's a gilui.
It's a gilui.
You're bringing out what is hidden.
That's correct.
To yourself.
That's right. There are two things that are happening.
Haris is for everyone else.
That's the guy teeth. That's the pshat in this Rambam.
That's not the very tricky question.
Is it? Okay.
Wasn't start.
Okay. But I didn't know that there are things going on inside in the 21st century. Anyways.
They're not the very hidden. That's
Anyways, no, but in other words, now we understand why there's a Suda. No, you have to connect. Which Suda? The one we're going to learn about shortly. Okay?
Does that have to do with anything?
We'll see. Okay. Anyways, Vanoshim Dafka Noshim, says the Mishnah Berurah, Lefisha Nasa Nes Al Yedehem, Kilakaman Sif Beis. Now this is extremely puzzling to me. I have no understanding of why the nes was done al yedei nashim. As far as I know, Yehuda Maccabi was not a lady.
Well, we have to
Purim
be
is different.
I don't know.
Purim is different.
we have to be Megillah. How it happened?
How does that answer? No, it's
No, the Yehudas.
the Yehudis were actually historically was not at this time. It was a different time, but there were similar things that happened. This is all brought down in the Poskim. But even that story, that's the nes. That's like a sideshow.
Wasn't it because of Chana?
Who's Chana?
Chana and her son.
I don't know what she has. One son for every day. What?
Was
What?
there schus that it was?
I don't know. I don't know that they're connected to Chana, but what?
Chana or Hanukkah?
She's saying Chana. Chana had seven sons who they all died. Al Kiddush Hashem and didn't bow down. The Gemara in Gittin. I don't know that has anything to do with Chanukah in particular.
It has to do with that same Golas, don't it? During that Golas.
Could be, but I don't know that. No, it's I'm not arguing that connection. I don't know that's true. I don't know it's not true. But even if that's true, is that what we're?
I consider that Yehuda started the ball rolling in the opposite direction. That's not,
Don't know. I don't know. All right. Anyways, I'm going to leave that open. Ba'od shaner is dalkais the beisai k'dei lahakish ha'asur l'shtamish la'oira. Now this is very puzzling to me. Shvuah ad chatzi shah. This Mishnah Berurah is under great debate because the Magen Avram brings from the Magli Tzedek. Then it's until the candles in shul go out, until chatzos time, and everybody's busy. How could it be? Because you're not makayim any mitzvah with those candles. I don't get the whole thing. What does you want to have them to the usher to do malacha as long as the candles are burning? That's like a strange idea. Why do you have them not do malacha a whole day? What does that have to do with the candles burning? Like, what's the
candles are
what?
Where's the math wrong? I'm missing the question. If it happened al yedei the ladies, and the candles are showing the nace, then kol that the candles are showing the nace, and the ladies are supposed to subside.
You won't say. I want to ask you a question.
What's the
Is Chanukah the whole day or not the whole day?
The whole day.
So now to make matter, the Mishnah Berurah answers the question. The Mishnah Berurah's answer to the question is beyond my comprehension. Let's see the Mishnah Berurah Dalit. I'm going to say the Mishnah Berurah I said a second ago, and now this time I would like you to pay attention to what we're saying. Okay? Ba'od shener is dalka b'beisai kedei lahakir she'asur l'shtamish la'oira v'hu chatzi shah. This is a pawn. We said it before, right?
No, I put together Gimel.
We said it before, so this is really very puzzling to me, right? In other words, since it happened al yadam, so therefore we're doing it, so we should know that it's asur l'shtamish la'oira. Why didn't we just say that it's asur l'shtamish, it shouldn't do any work all the time the candles are burning, men and women? What's the issue? We have to have someone work, so we have the men work. What's the? So let's leave it. Okay.
Speak about the work that's forbidden on Shabbos, that kind of work.
I will share with you a story. I have a friend of mine, acquaintance of mine, that he used to be a nichnas v'yetze into the homes of all the gedolim, and he would ask them all kinds of questions, that don't interest me at all, and he would get all kinds of interesting answers. So he said to me, this must be about almost 20 years ago. He said I was in Reb Chaim Kanevsky's house, and I asked him, what halachas do the women have to refrain from on Chanukah? And he said, like Chol Hamoed. There are other Rabbanim that said, like Rosh Chodesh. He said, like Chol Hamoed. Then he walked into the kitchen and asked Reb Chaim's wife, what does your husband allow you to do when the candles are burning? And she said, nothing. Now, he told me this. I said, that's not a stira. You asked him what the halacha is. He told you what the halacha is. What he does in his own house, something totally different. I'll just share with you a fascinating story that happened to me. Nothing to do with this, but it's a fascinating story. I gave a shir once on a certain halacha, and as you people know already, who I quote is not at random. I decide who I'm going to quote for what thing. And I said over a certain kula b'shen Rabbi Yashiv. After the shir, one of Rabbi Yashiv's grandchildren come over to me and say, how do you know that that's true? I said, I know. She said, how do you know? I said, I know. It's true. So when our Kabbalah in our family is that our grandfather is machmer on this. So I said, doesn't really interest me. And we parted. I then called up the person who I trust, and I asked him this particular thing, how do you know this? So he starts laughing. And he says, dude, there's a quote. He says, first of all, you should know every single thing that's written there, B'Shem Rabbi Yashiv. I showed it to Rabbi Yashiv for his approval before it was written, before it was published. This particular question, I was in Rabbi Zriel Auerbach's house when I asked him this question, and he said it's mutter. And then Leah Auerbach, Rabbi Yashiv's wife, said, Abba ze mutar? And he said, Ken. So now I thought I had it all figured out, because here it's clear that Rabbi Yashiv's daughter said, Asr, and she was corrected. The Rabbi said, Ken. No, he found it funny on this particular halacha that he says, yeah, they have this mistake. About 7 years later, someone came out with a sefer on this halacha, and there's a piece in there of a conversation that he had with Rabbi Yashiv, and Rabbi Yashiv says that it's 100% mutter, but there's deya mesuyam that there could be makom to be machmer. So I don't know if Rabbi Yashiv in his house was really machmer or not. I don't know, but I know what he held l'halacha. You understand? But this happens many times, that the Rav will tell people one thing, and he himself will do something else, because it doesn't mean that there aren't other opinions. But you want to know, what do you have to do? So this is a very fair. So you ask me the question, what are you allowed to do? And anything which is called work should not be done. Food preparation, vada, is permissible. All right. Okay. Vein lahakal lahem, David Baruch Avrohom Baruch Zachariash, because of Shultei Giborim, B'cheres Shivus HaChamtzi, Shevmok Shenogo Isser Las Melacha Kol Hayom, Yesh Rimchos B'Yodam. Why? Ki habatola averihi umevi lidei shimu. No, there's reason to not do malacha a whole day, like I said in my question. But we can't do it, it's way too expensive.
What's shimum?
Shimum means decay. Yeah, but
It needs in this context.
Batola, yeah. Anyways, okay. Sif Beis. Riboy hasudas shemarbim behem hem sudas rishus. Shaloi kavum leMishnah v'Simcha. They didn't make it for Mishnah v'Simcha. Now, if somebody would like to volunteer to read for me what the Mechaber said. When I ate lunch today, what was that?
Rishus.
Rishus. So you just say, Loi kovu Mishnah B'simcha. In other words, he's masking that there's a minhag to have ribui sudas. Did he say it's a mistake?
No, but it's not because of.
It's not a mistake, and it's a reshus. That needs help.
It's a good thing to do.
He doesn't say that either. No, it's like left. It needs help. I didn't say it's insurmountable. It needs help. Then we get to Ramah, which is even more pathetic. V'yesh omrim sheyesh ktsas mitzvah b'ribui sudas. This is when I asked Lev, could you translate that word ktsas? I have no idea what that word means. Either it is a mitzvah or it isn't a mitzvah. Anu lo yedim matan schorm shel mitzvahs. What is a ktsas mitzvah?
Hebrew is beautiful. Yes, mashu b'zeh.
To me, that's I just say v'mahu mashu. Okay, chometz is also b'mashu. I know what a mashu is. Okay, why is there a mitzvah, ktsas mitzvah? Mishum de ba'oisen hayom Chanukah's hamizbeach. We went totally off subject. Nothing to do with the Nes of Chanukah. Okay, let's go. Now, I would like you to read again. I'm skipping we're going to eclipse the Ramah. Let's read the Machaber again. Ribu says Shamar b'hem im sudas rishos shalai kavim l'mishta v'simcha v'noyagim loimer zmir s'shishbachos b'asuda Shamar b'hem v'oz havi sudas mitzvah. Is it to make it better or worse? Right, that's what the Machaber said before the Ramah got us off track in the middle. Right? He said it's sudas rishos, and we say zmir s'shishbachos in these sudas, and then it becomes a sudas mitzvah. What about today by lunch if I said Zemiris, what? This bothers you, okay.
You have to, so you have to have that and the opportunity, and the time is fitting. Well, that's Chanukah, the time of Chanukah is together with...
So what is the time of Chanukah?
But today is not an opportune time.
Okay. But we just said Chanukah by itself is nothing. Right. But obviously this nothing is more than nothing. It's Ezeshu Mashu, right? It's like a ktsas. Right? It's like a ktsas, sort of. Okay. V'yesh aimrim sheyesh lechol gevina b'Chanukah, and according to some you should have cholov also. V'fi shenes nasa b'cholov. She'achila Yehudis asa oyev, she gave gevina to the cholov to the oyev. Okay. Yeah, perhaps. This is, all right. So, this subject needs help. Let's see the Mishnah Berurah, and then we'll try to give an explanation to this. Shalai kavu l'mishnah simcha, ela lahalav ha'idais, v'nir, the tam d'lai kavu kan simcha, k'mo b'purim, ki purim haya gzer lahashmin ha'argalas gufais, shu b'tol mishnah simcha. They were about our Gashmias. Therefore, we have a Gashmias like a Yantif. Lahaya nefashas. Wasn't on the nefashas. Shafilu hemiradosam chas v'shalom lahaya makabel aisam. Our kishetzil makadosh baruch hu b'meno kav lahal shabeach yizbarach alkein. They mishnah simcha because they're chaygig with the goof, which was that which they were trying to destroy. Okay. V'im ha yisrael machnim lahem liyas. But the Yevonim, if we would have become Goyim, that would have been good for them. Because the it was a Ruchni Isdik in Itzachin, because the war was a Ruchni Isdik war. Ratzu l'noya esanu mizeh v'lichva doser chas v'shalom v'esosi yizbarach v'yifkiru zavimam v'gavru yadehem v'chen anu moedim v'shabchim lo asher hayalanu l'elakim v'lo yasavanu me'avodosoi. So therefore we make a spiritual chag because we had a spiritual savior. Now I would just like to insert over here, there's a famous vart from the Bnei Yissaschar, which I believe that there's a piece that, after being added, will give you a certain amount of geschmack in the chag. There's a difference between a grager and a dreidel. what's the difference? One has the big piece on the top and the small piece on the bottom, and one has the big piece on the. I don't remember which one I said. Okay. And he said, why is that so? Because the nes of Chanukah was a nes which was astounding in the physical world. So the expanse of the nes was felt down here. So therefore, you see HaKadosh Baruch Hu's expression down here. That's why the big piece is down here. Whereas on Purim, it was all out there chateva. So therefore, the nes was on the top, and it was very scantily seen down here, and therefore we have it the opposite. Ad kan divrei kosher. Okay, I'm sure everybody's heard this before, right? All of you are Jewish, so you must have never heard it. Okay. Anyways, I would like to just juxtapose that to the Mishnah Berurah that we just learned. The nes has to coincide to that which was happening. And it coincides, obviously, the exact opposite way. So therefore, on Chanukah, which it was about our religious freedom, the nes was in the physical expression. And this pairs up. Whereas on Purim, where the nes was on our physical expression, we had the genocide was on the physical, so therefore the nes was on the ruchnius, because there's always a hashloma between the two halves. Right? These things go in pairs, so that's how they complement each other. Anyways, so now we understand that we don't really have a sudas. Why? Because that's not the main point. No, that's what we just said. So there's reason to have a suda, but it throws you off the focus that you're supposed to be having. Okay. These days, therefore we have it at time. It goes together with the day. Anytime you do it for the proper reasons, it's called the Sudas Mitzvah. Now, I'd like to tell you what the Darshanim say over here, and this is, I believe, a major piece of the Avodah of Chanukah. The war against the Yevonim was that the Yevonim didn't believe if you can't feel it, it doesn't exist. That's the Yevonim approach. So, and we believe that not only is there Ruchnius and Gashmius, our Avodah is to take the Gashmi and make a Ruchni. That's why they were against Shabbos, that's why against Rosh Chodesh, that's why against Milah. Our war with them is, can you turn Gashmis into Ruchnis? That's our war. If we are going to have a Sudas Mitzvah, we didn't express that we won the war. If we're going to have a Sudas Rishus and turn it into Sudas Mitzvah, so then we stuck them. You understand? We did exactly we're expressing exactly what we won. So therefore we have it that it's not really a Sudas Mitzvah, and we make it into Sudas Mitzvah, and that's the ultimate purpose. This is not a joke. This is for real. Okay, that's what's going on. Okay. I think we can finish off. Ein masfirim behem ela lechacham b'fonov ve'ein misanim b'yeshua avam chulu tanis chalom kila'il v'liyin tzirik hadin la'ayin li b'chas rosh chodesh v'ayin l'kama tafresh pegil. Okay.